All right, take a look at our electrical panel. Main floor bedroom office. Floor bedroom office, okay. Take a look. Checking for our age and style of breaker panel. Make sure it's not one that has known issues with failures. This one's a Cutler hammer, very common brand. Easy to get updated breakers for this panel. It's well labeled. We'll take a look inside and see how our wiring is looking inside. Home inspection, it's not required to remove the panel cover. And some inspectors won't because it can be dangerous, but I just try and use my best judgment, and I also have life insurance, so you know, it's all good. Once I get this panel cover off. Okay, set this down without scratching anything. All right, so looking in here, I mean, we're not an electrician as a home inspector, but we're looking for any obvious defects, wires that are coming out of the lug, or any sign that we're having double lugging where they're putting multiple wires into one breaker where it's not rated for it. Some breakers are, so you always want to check the writing if you see it. And we're just taking a look, making sure everything's in where it is. We're not required to check wire gauge compared to amperage on breakers, but if there's something obvious where they're using too small of a wire on an overrated breaker, we'll make a note on it. Looking pretty good though. Electrical's nice and clean. All modern copper wiring. Always looking for things like aluminum single branch wiring or older knob and tube wiring that could have issues. So just making sure everything's tight in there. It's rare, but sometimes I'll pull on a wire and it'll just slip right out because it hadn't been torqued down properly or torqued at all. So just checking to make sure, because then that wire's loose. It has the ability to expand, contract, or vibrate and arc and spark and create heat and cause a fire. So you want it nice and tight in there so you don't have any of those issues. We don't want arcing and sparking. It's a fun thing about inspections. You always see cool stuff and get ideas you never would have thought of before. For the next home I build, I've gotten some design ideas that I would definitely integrate. Things I've seen lately that are just genius is like mounting the dishwasher up in a wall cabinet so it's not on the ground where it normally is, so you can get into it and access it easier. I've seen that on some newer high-end kitchens, and it just makes so much sense to have that thing mounted a few inches off the ground, so it's when you open it's all right there. I was like, gosh, that's so easy to do when you're designing a kitchen, and makes usability. So I always look for usability features like that, trying to get ideas. But I also spend a lot of time on YouTube and researching building science and advanced building techniques. So I get a lot of ideas off YouTube, seeing, you know, more cutting edge building ideas or new design ideas. So, but occasionally I'll come across a house and just be like, gosh, that is genius. Just add it to my notes of things for when I do my next build. All right, and then I always like to document that I put everything back just like I found it, in case you never know, another inspector or someone else comes by and does something and messes it up. We want to know when we left, everything was just like when we came across it. We'll go later, I'll look for the main service disconnect outside at the meter head so I can see the amperage that they're feeding this panel, since it's not indicated here, just to make sure what it has for service.